HABIBIS! Welcome to Mathamas!
We are right now in front of the Museum of Egyptian Antiquities. This is the biggest museum that holds 120,000 pieces of the pharaonic era and other eras too. So we're going to show you in chronological order because this is one of the last times that you will be able to see this in this area, because very soon they're moving everything out of this museum into the new museum that's supposed to open in 2021, and it's absolutely huge. It's going to be the biggest one in the Middle East. So to all of you people who wanted to see some pharaonic stuff, this is for you. Let's go!
Woohoo!
This dog here, he was the god of death, and the reason he was the god of death is because he was one of those animals that used to go and prey on dead bodies and dead people. So he would see them, they would dig graves and they would put them underground, but then this animal would always be able to find them, and he would go and tour around their area. So to them, he was the god of death. Look behind me here, there's a statue, and that statue, all you can see is the face, but when you come closer, Horus is right behind this statue. It's a symbol saying that God protects you even when you don't see him. So freaking cool. These guys were scribes, one of the most important people in the entire Egyptian society at the time, because they were one of the few people who could write. And the reason why it's so important is because Egyptians were obsessed with never dying, and he was the way that Egyptians were never going to die. Regardless of how important it is, his nipples and his eyes and his collar got stolen because it was made of gold. Oh well. These are the scribes, that's why they're sitting in the shades, because they learned how to write. How well everything is so preserved, and this is from the old kingdom. Do you guys get that? Like, so well preserved. Starting from this part here now, this is the new kingdom. This part behind me here is all Akhenaton, who's Tutankhamun's father, and he was the first one who you're going to see. He's not well built, he's not strong like the other ones, and the reason he's so chubby is because he wasn't a soldier, he was a philosopher, and he was the first one to start to unite all of the gods into one that you can't see, who's Aton, who's the symbol of the sun. And that's why you see all of these rays that the sun is putting down on all of these statues, and the reason you see them is because it symbolizes that the sun or God is always going to be able to reach you and touch you even though it's so far away. And Nefertiti was the most beautiful woman that has ever been seen up until that time, and unfortunately the completed version of this is in Germany, and Germany never gave it back to us. During the mummification process, they would put the guts inside these little statues. They would put the heart, the liver, the lungs, and the intestines all inside this, and then they would preserve it all into this little thing here. This represented the judgment day. The monster god was going to be there. If your heart was heavier than a feather, then the monster god would eat you and you would go to hell, and that's it. This is Tutankhamun's coffin. It was like a Russian doll. It was like a big one into a smaller one, into a smaller one, into the smallest one, and then into the coffin. It's just incredible. This king, who was so insignificant and died really young, he has this massive treasure. Imagine what happened to the ones that we could never find. We're moving into the Greco-Roman era now, and we've moved out of the pharaonic era. You'll see the language is changing, the colors are changing. This is a white guy. This pyramid behind me here is one of the most mysterious pieces that have ever been discovered. We thought that it was made of granite, but when they started trying to use any tools on it, it broke. And we kept thinking, how is it possible that it broke so fast when we touched it, even though there's like all of these scriptures on it? The assumption is that this is made of material that is actually non-terrestrial material, which means that this could have been from some sort of rock or stone or something that fell from space. This kid was in there. تعال الصور. انت بتتعلم هنا ولا ايه؟
ما بتتعلمش.
ما هي بتتفرج؟
انا جايبه فوق.
سلام عليك. ولا. And now we're in the late period. This is between 688 BC and 332 BC. This is supposed to be the beginning of the end. This is when we had more and more invaders and less resistance, and when everything started to go down. And just like that, the museum tour is over. That's it for today, Habibis. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was super impressive. I really want you guys to come and check out the museum. The next time you're here in Egypt, trust me, this is a must see. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. We have someone better than any tour guide with us today, Sharif Girgis, and he's going to tell us about all of the stories. شيرين وسارة برضه هيدونا معلومات كتير قوي النهارده يا جماعه.
هنتغدى فين؟ انا هقول لك عنه.